the way that I see it, it's purely because of what Bohemia Interactive used to do, it is still doing. DayZ is not one of their prime games. It's not their prime focus. It was a test bed for Infusion, and Armour, the Armour series, will always be their primary thing.
Derleth, friend of the show, mentioned, this looks truly amazing. Again, makes me wonder why Bohemia Interactive has this program for Armour 3, while for DayZ there are apparently no such plans. It would be a perfect way to bring community-created gems like Deer Isle or even the moles to consoles and some dollars, I imagine. And he's talking about another Armour 3 community DLC. Become a private military contractor and be deployed to the desert dunes of Sephra Ramal. Together with third-party developers, Rotators Collective, we're announcing today a new and upcoming Armour 3 created DLC, Western Sahara. And then there's a link to the full DLC. So, it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
So I actually reached out to Scotty and I told him this was on the record. So I'm not divulging secret messages between me and him or anything. Let me just go to my chat with him.
Is this where we get absolutely fucking disappointed and that there's no plans for it?
Okay, so got a question for you, mate, officially. What would someone need to do to be able to do an official DayZ DLC? We have seen so many Armour ones. Why no DayZ ones? And how would this be done to get it onto console as well? Scotty replied, "Good morning, dude. DLC, you mean a new official map?" I mean, yeah, something more like Prairie Fire, etc. And I linked him to this tweet about the Western Sahara. Okay, so Scotty went and asked a few questions, obviously, and came back and said, okay, so no plans for this. We will evaluate later, but mostly we want to focus on current maps, more so Livonia as some primary focus. I said, Bugger, would love to see what United Modding community could come up with. As he said, as far as I've discussed in the past, it's not that easy and would require heavy work from the team. I know it sounds like it would be, as I thought the same. And I just said, yeah, fair enough. If Sumrak can't get Namolsk as a community DLC, why would we think anyone else can?
I'm nearly certain at one stage he said he didn't even want it to be a community DLC.
Yeah.
He just wanted it to be a mod, if I'm not mistaken, last time he was on the show. So, and I suppose as well, like the Armour 3 dev team is more than likely considerably a lot bigger than the DayZ dev team. So they have the manpower there to be able to do these community events because they can set aside 10 people and be like, right, work on this. Whereas DayZ, they barely have 10 people.
Yeah.
So it's like...
And that's kind of baffling. Like going back to the Steam charts, am I right in thinking that DayZ is above Armour 3 right now?
Has been with months
for a while. Yeah.
So I'm sure we're on the same mindset with that, but that seems baffling to me.
It's the way that I see it. It's purely because of what Bohemia Interactive used to do. It is still doing. DayZ is not one of their prime games. It's not their prime focus. It was a test bed for Infusion, and Armour, the Armour series, will always be their primary thing, considering their history. And, Armour 3 right now is obviously it's not doing too well compared to DayZ, but we all fucking know that Armour 4 is going to absolutely lift the roof when that is released.
Yeah.
If it's released in a good state, that is.
Yeah.
I think it will be. And it really will bring some unique stuff to the table for their portfolio and for us as players and content creators. But
I also... Sorry.
No, go on, bud. Go on.
I also think as well, if I'm not mistaken, I heard it before, that Arma is government funded in some degree as well. So they're obviously going to put a little bit more priority into Arma, especially if
that's a separate arm. There's two divisions of Bohemia. There's Bohemia Interactive, the game studio, and then there's the military simulator. They're two separate entities these days.
Right. Okay. I thought they were like the games were funded by it or something. But
I think that's the
that
origins
makes
of
sense.
everything, but they divided them because
Right.
obviously the sort of tech that military are using is probably going to be a bit more advanced and probably a lot of VR stuff as well, I'm going to guess. Yeah. But yeah, disappointing. Not what I wanted to hear, Dr. V. He must be AFK.
Doctor,
Oh, sorry. What'd you say? What'd you say, Bodie?
I said it's disappointing. Not what I wanted to hear. You know, I would have loved to have seen a collab between some of the greatest modders of DayZ, and not just because of what they could produce, but we all know what my thoughts on modders being recompensed for the work they do.
Yes.
And this would have been just a fantastic model that some of them could aspire to creating their own. Look at Quima. And the stuff that's being done for that. Imagine if they knew that there was a potential for them to make money back. That,
if anything, that feels like that really does have potential. If certainly from what Avoca was saying last week and all the different features, and that sounds like that, if anything, has severe potential to go in that direction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I do hope that DayZ will have, and I have spoke about this before, and it is similar to how they have it on Armour. Not necessarily to do with the DLCs, but it is to do with like the community aspect of things. I can't remember the exact name for the program that they use for Armour, but it would be great to have one for DayZ. And heck, Vigor, for Christ's sakes, there's a dedicated player base for that game, and that never gets talked about.
No.
It doesn't get as much love. So having something like that would be really, really nice, and it would be extra free advertisement for the rest of the games, especially for Armour 4 that's coming out. So, if I'm not going to say if we talk about it enough, maybe it'll happen, but there's nothing wrong with showing interest in doing something like that, especially for content creators as well, who they put a lot of time into the game. And yeah, sure, they get a lot out of it at the same time, but to get actual recognition from the company.
yeah.